So today for social studies, you don't need your notebooks right now. I just need you to listen for a few minutes. And I have something you're going to do. So as I mentioned yesterday, we will be taking a Unit 3 test on Friday over chapters 5, 6, and 7. So I had encouraged many of you before break to hold on to those notes from 5, 6, and 7. Okay, or to find them or to copy from somebody so you have them, because those notes will be helpful for the test come Friday. I'd be looking over them now, okay, making sure I remember some of those things. The PowerPoint you did yesterday with this information, which kind of reviews all of those colonies, the northern, the middle. The northern colonies, notice over here I wrote New England colonies because that's what we called them. We called them the New England colonies. Yeah. Okay, this paper just happened to say northern colonies. The middle colonies, the southern colonies, they kind of separated Georgia out on this paper. But all of those notes on there were kind of a review of what we've already done. So it kind of condensed things down, pulled out some important information for you. Today, we're going to look at a map of the 13 colonies because part of the test on Friday will be to label where these colonies are at, which kind of helps prepare you for later in the year. Because when we're done with the Revolutionary War, we'll start working on states and capitals and do a big states and capitals test.
I'm sure for that.
Okay, and these 13 colonies are probably the hardest ones to locate because there are so many tiny ones up there.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
Those are usually the hardest ones. I'm not answering questions right now, we're just listening. So there's a couple of things I want to point out. We're going to do this now for the test on Friday. Okay, this is kind of your study guide. I'm going to give this paper to you. If you're learning at home, it is this Label the 13 Colonies worksheet. If you're here in school, you can use this worksheet on your iPad or you can use the hard copy. Okay. The other things I'm going to encourage you to do on your iPad in the app portal are to download. There are two apps. Okay. One is called just States, and the other one's called States and Capitals, I believe.
And
Capitals and States, the other way around. So one is called States, the other one is called Capitals and States. Okay, and those are two games you can get from the app portal to practice your states and capitals now. Okay, it's going to be all of them. It's not going to just, I was trying to find something that would give you just the 13 colonies. Okay, but it doesn't hurt to start practicing and reviewing those now. So the one is called States, S-T-A-T-E-S, and the other one is called Capitals and States. There are two. I will eventually post some more websites that will also allow you to practice those states and capitals as we get closer, okay? So something to do if you have a few minutes spare time during the day or at home or wherever and you want to practice those, because we will be doing a big 50 states and capitals test later in the year, okay? So two apps to download if you want to download those. Yesterday's assignment was this 13 colonies worksheet. This may not be so much for those here in my classroom because I already told them, but there are 13 of you that did not submit this from yesterday. So we're not starting off on the right foot here for this third 9 weeks. Okay, please make sure you're submitting work when necessary and you're submitting it on time. If you submit it late, these are complete. These are not submitted. These are people that owe me. Okay. If you're not submitting it on time, then it's a 50% no matter what. Okay, and some of you, your grades are being affected by the late work. Okay, so make sure we're getting this submitted on time. A lot of this, now this one was with the PowerPoint. You had to look at the slides and fill in words. Okay, 15, 20 minutes it might have taken. And then you submitted that. Same thing with the reading. Okay, today's reading we did together, but make sure you submit that. So I'll be looking for it. The prediction was not a right or wrong answer. It was just your ideas, your thoughts. Typed it up quick and submit it. Okay? So let's not start this year off on the wrong foot. Let's get this work done so we can move on and not get swamped later with oodles of late work. Okay? Questions I have, Riker?
If we don't submit this by 12 o'clock, is it on that 50%?
If you don't submit it soon, it will be 50%. Okay, generally I give you like yesterday's work was due today, but I probably won't put it in until tomorrow morning. So once I put that work into Harmony, if you submit it after that, then it'll be a 50%. Okay? That's why when I come in the morning, I try to write names of those of you in here that need to get it done, so it kind of reminds you, oh, I did it at home, but I didn't submit it. Okay, and I'm trying to remember to remind those of you that I don't see in person to get those things submitted as well. Okay, so you might get a message from me, or I'm telling you right now to get those done. All right? Okay, so your assignment for today for social studies is to check out those apps, states, capitals and states. Complete this worksheet. There is a word bank down here. You're going to find those different colonies and label that so you have that and submit it. I also posted, one last thing here, a 13 colonies website which might help with labeling these colonies, and when you click on that link, this is what comes up. So there's an interactive 13 colonies map here. I don't know if it'll work for me today. It doesn't look like it's gonna work today.
What?
It was working for me yesterday, this map.
This long?
Hang on, I'm refreshing. We'll give it a second. Which question, Nick?
So the states one is downloading and downloaded pretty quick.
Okay.
But I keep pressing like install on the.
Well, you might have to turn the iPad off and turn it back on. Sometimes it takes it, and sometimes it'll take up to an hour to get it fully on there. Okay. So here is this interactive website. If I hover over it, you'll see it changes, and then if I click on it, it'll pull up information. So I would encourage you to skim through this information on these different colonies. Some of it we've already looked at, we've already read. Some of it might be new. Okay, but you're learning about those colonies today. You have to go by the letters, so don't just think I can click here. You've got to go on the letters to click on the different colonies. Okay, and you can use this then to label your colonies. There is one here I want to point out. So Massachusetts was both of these at that time. Today we know this section as what state? Maine, right? This is Maine today, but here it's showing me both of these pieces of land are Massachusetts, but you're only labeling on here the smaller one, okay, for Massachusetts. So keep that in mind when you click on this one. So each of these 13 colonies has information. You can use this to label your worksheet and then to gather some more information about those different colonies, which will be helpful as we progress into the Revolutionary War. Okay? Questions on what you're doing today? You got a website to explore, some apps to check out, and a worksheet. Claire, question? What's that? Well, that's what Nick was saying. You might have to shut it down and turn your iPad off and turn it back on.
I'll try it later.
Okay, don't keep clicking it because it's probably already done it. You might have to turn it off, turn it back on, and it might take it up to an hour to get onto your iPad. So give it time. If it says it did it, it probably did. It's just going to take a little longer. Okay? All right, other questions? I'm going to get these worksheets passed out. You can get started on that. That's it for today.